how to slice a tomato or dice it. First, you need a tomato, of course, right? And a big cutting board, not a small cutting board. You want one big. This is totally out of screen how big this is. A secure cutting board that doesn't move too much. Hopefully doesn't move at all. And a bread knife, or I guess you could call this a serrated knife. But this is my bread knife. You see the little teeth on there? It's great for cutting tomatoes and also bread. I first wash my tomato. I'm going to leave my core in for now. I'm going to cut this tomato in half, and we're going to dice this tomato. So there's the core end. I'm just going to cut through the core end all the way to the other side, so we have a flat surface to work on. Okay, 2 halves. Well, for now, I'm going to take this half. I like to trim out this core. We won't really need it to slice. Throw that, of course, in the bowl. Throw out later instead of running across the kitchen all the time to throw something away. And now I'm going to turn my tomato over. And if you just want slices, this is a half slices. If you were going to do it where you have whole slices, you just wouldn't cut out the, you would not cut the tomato in half first. You could core it though first, but we're going to do it this way. So then I'm just going to take my bread knife and slice through it. Now you notice I am using the claw method. I got my thumb in the back to push it, to hold it in place. And I've got my fingers curled under so I don't accidentally cut my fingers. And I can just move my fingers back as I get closer to the other edge. And we can just chop this up and use that as diced. Here are slices of tomato. And they slice so much easier with a serrated edge knife as opposed to a flat straight edge. That is how you slice a tomato. Now I want to dice this tomato. I'm going to leave that core in for now. I'm going to do what I did with the onion. Flat side down. I'm going to slice it vertically a couple slices. You can see how I cut it vertically. I didn't cut all the way through. I just cut back to where the core is holding the rest of the tomato together. And now this is a little bit harder to show on camera, so I'll just have to wing it. I'm going to cut down. Whoops. Cut down the slices. Okay, now I made vertical cuts through my horizontal cuts, almost all the way to the core, but not quite. Now I'm going to go across the cuts that I just made, holding the tomato securely in place with my claw. And there you have diced tomatoes. If you want it smaller, you would make more vertical slices, more horizontal slices before cutting across all that. But there you have a diced tomato. If you want larger tomato chunks, you just wouldn't make as many vertical slices. You would make them quite big, and that would give you a bigger piece of tomato. There you go. Diced tomatoes. And let's not forget the sliced. Remember, use your claw. Use a bread knife for tomatoes. And there's only one knife that is more dangerous than a sharp knife, and that's a dull knife. So make sure your knives are nice and sharp.